The next morning, she went to Amaka's salon at Jakande Estate. But when she got there, the place was locked. Neighbours said Amaka had left early that morning with 2 men in suits. She hadn't returned. Ezinne's throat tightened. She knew what that meant. That night, she and Ifeoma met again, this time at Ifeoma's aunt's shop. The plan was simple. Sneak into the church during the night vigil, take the small black camera, and leave before anyone noticed. It sounded crazy, but silence had already cost too much. At 1 a.m., the drums started. Worshippers filled the hall, singing and clapping. Ezinne wore a long scarf and joined the women at the back. Ifeoma stayed near the side door, watching. When the prophet came out, the crowd shouted, "Daddy! Daddy!" He raised his hands, smiling like always. "Tonight," he said, "heaven will touch every hidden pain." As everyone shouted Amen, Ezinne slipped quietly through the side door into his office. Her heart hammered. The shelf stood exactly where Amaka described. Books lined the top. Between them, a small black camera, its light blinking faintly. She reached for it, hands trembling. Then she heard footsteps in the corridor. She froze. The door handle turned slowly. She hid behind the curtain, holding her breath. The prophet entered, humming softly. He sat on the chair and opened a drawer. Ezinne could see him through a tiny gap in the curtain. He picked up his phone, dialed, and spoke quietly. "The girl still thinks she's safe," he said. "By tomorrow, it will be over." He laughed, a low, satisfied laugh. Ezinne's stomach knotted. When he left the room, she stepped out, grabbed the camera, and ran. Outside, she met Ifeoma, waiting by the back gate. "I got it," Ezinne whispered, holding the small device tight. They didn't stop running until they reached the main road. They stood under the streetlight, breathing hard. For a moment, everything felt quiet. Then Ifeoma's phone buzzed. A message popped up from an unknown number. "Nice work tonight, daughters of the altar. Check your bags." "Is one?" They both looked down. In Ezinne's bag, beside the camera, was a folded note she hadn't seen before. Her name was written on it. She opened it slowly. Inside, in the prophet's calm handwriting, were 5 words. "The altar still remembers you." The next morning, Ezinne sat at Ifeoma's small kitchen table. The black camera lay between them. Neither of them had touched it since they found the note. "What if it's empty?" Ifeoma asked quietly. Ezinne stared at the small, blinking light. "Then we'll know he was bluffing." But even as she spoke, her hands trembled. They finally connected the camera to a laptop. The screen came to life. Folder after folder of short clips appeared. Each one had a date and a name. The first video opened with the prophet's voice, calm and familiar. "Daughter, you must trust me completely." Then came the sound of a woman crying softly. Ifeoma slammed the laptop shut. "Stop it," she said, shaking. I can't watch this." Ezinne's stomach twisted. "This is proof," she whispered. "We can't hide it. We have to show someone." They decided to contact a journalist from a small online platform, a woman named Ngozi, who often covered stories about corruption and abuse. Ezinne sent her a message and waited. "By evening," Ngozi replied. "Meet me at Maryland Mall tomorrow. Bring everything." That night, neither of them slept. Every sound outside felt suspicious, every knock, every passing car. When morning came, Ezinne dressed simply, packed the camera in a small nylon bag, and left early. If she reached the journalist before anyone noticed, maybe it would finally end. But halfway through the journey, she noticed a black SUV following the Danfo bus she boarded. She told herself it was nothing. Lagos was full of the same cars. Still, her heart refused to calm down. At Maryland, Ngozi was waiting at a corner table in a cafe. She looked serious, mid-30s, glasses, small notebook in hand. Ezinne placed the nylon bag on the table. This is everything, she said. Ngozi connected the camera to her laptop, played one clip for less than 10 seconds, and closed it. Her face changed immediately. This is heavy, she said. If this goes out, it won't just shake the church, it will shake the whole city. Are you ready for that? Ezinne swallowed hard. I don't care. I just want the truth out. Ngozi nodded. Okay, give me 24 hours. When Ezinne left the cafe, she finally felt lighter. For the first time in months, she could breathe. But that peace lasted only a few hours. By nightfall, social media was flooded with a statement from House of Fire Ministry. A group of bitter ex-members are spreading false videos to destroy the work of God. Please ignore them. The devil is fighting the anointing. Ezinne's phone started ringing non-stop. Friends, relatives, even her mother. Mummy, it's not lies, she tried to explain. But her mother shouted through the phone. You want to bring shame to our name. You think you can fight a man of God. Ezinne hung up, hands shaking. Minutes later, her face appeared on the church's Facebook page with the caption, "The woman the devil is using against God's servant." Comments poured in thousands of them. Some called her possessed. Some said she seduced the prophet. Others sent death threats. By the next morning, journalists were camping near her street. Neighbors stopped greeting her. Even Ifeoma's aunt told them to move out before people started throwing stones. Ezinne turned on the TV that afternoon and froze. The prophet was live on air, smiling, gentle, calm. I forgive her, he said softly. We must love our enemies. May God deliver her from confusion and bitterness. The studio audience clapped. He smiled again, the same smile that once made her feel safe. Ezinne switched off the TV and sat on the floor, tears in her eyes. What now? Ifeoma whispered. Ezinne looked at the small laptop beside her. The screen was still open to one of the files. This one wasn't just a clip. It was long dated from years back. She pressed play. The prophet appeared younger, his voice colder. He was talking to someone behind the camera. Never delete anything. Every covenant must have proof. Then he looked straight into the lens, almost like he could see her watching. He smiled slowly. Even if they run, he said, the altar always finds them. Ezinne shut the laptop quickly, her heart pounding. Ifeoma touched her arm. What did he say? Ezinne stared at the blank screen and whispered. He recorded everything, and he's not afraid of being caught. Ezinne couldn't step outside for a week. The moment she did, people stared. Some whispered, some pointed. Children at the junction even sang, "The woman that fought her pastor." Her phone was still full of messages, some from strangers cursing her, some pretending to care. She stopped reading them. The more she read, the heavier her chest felt. Ifeoma tried to stay strong, but even she was breaking down. Her aunt had asked her to leave the house. You've brought trouble to this family, the woman said. People in church are asking questions, so they packed their things and moved into a small one-room apartment in Iyana Ipaja. No one there knew them. That was good. One evening, Ngozi, the journalist, came by with a flash drive in her hand. They took my post down, she said quietly. They reported my blog for religious defamation. The article is gone. Ezinne's voice was low. So that's it, after everything, Ngozi sighed. For now. But I'm giving this footage to another outlet outside Nigeria. They'll release it soon. It's not over yet. When Ngozi left, Ezinne sat by the window, staring into the dark. Cars passed. Someone was frying akara down the street. Everything felt painfully normal, like the world didn't care what had happened. That night, her phone buzzed. It was an email. No name, just an attachment, titled, For Your Safety. She hesitated, then opened it. It was a short clip, a hidden camera recording of the prophet's office. The angle was low, from under his table. He was talking to two men in suits. "The girls will not talk," he said calmly. "They're afraid, and fear is stronger than truth." Ezinne's hands shook. Someone had recorded him, maybe a staff member, maybe another victim. Whoever it was, they wanted her to see this. She forwarded the clip to Ngozi immediately. The journalist replied almost at once. "This is enough. They can't hide forever." 2 days later, an international media outlet released the full investigation. The prophet's face was everywhere, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TV. The videos, the testimonies, the victims' voices. And suddenly, the same people who once called Ezinne possessed started posting. "We always knew something was off about that man. God will judge fake pastors." But the victory didn't feel like victory. Ezinne sat quietly as her phone kept buzzing with interviews and messages. She didn't reply to any. Her name was trending, but her peace was gone. That night, she and Ifeoma sat outside the small compound under the yellow bulb. "I thought I'd feel better," Ezinne said. "You will," Ifeoma replied softly. "It just takes time." The street was calm. For the first time in weeks, no one was shouting her name, no cameras flashing. But deep inside, she still felt watched. Then her phone buzzed again, a new message. No number. "Congratulations! You finally won. But remember, altars don't die. They relocate." She stared at the screen, heart racing. The sender's name appeared a second later. Prophet D.A. Ezinne didn't reply. She deleted the message, switched off the phone, and whispered, "Some altars may not die, but I'm done kneeling." She looked up at the dark sky. Somewhere, a generator hummed softly, and for the first time in a long while, she breathed without fear. 6 months passed. The story had gone quiet. Other scandals came. Other headlines replaced hers. The world moved on, but not for Ezinne. She had moved to a new town near Abeokuta. Small house, quiet neighbors. New name. People called her Sister Z now. She liked it that way. She didn't want anyone to recognize her from the news. Every morning, she walked to the small clinic nearby, where she worked as a cleaner. It wasn't her dream job, but it gave her peace, real peace. Sometimes she'd hear church bells from afar and pause, her stomach tightening. Then she'd smile to herself. The sound no longer scared her. Ifeoma visited often. They had both learned to live softly, to breathe again. Sometimes they joked about opening a foundation for women who had nowhere to turn. It was still a dream, but for the first time, it felt possible. Then one evening, while she was sweeping the front of her compound, her neighbor came out holding a newspaper. "Sister Z, have you seen this?" the woman asked. Ezinne shook her head. The woman handed her the paper. Across the front page was a bold headline: "Popular Lagos Prophet arrested for human trafficking and exploitation." Below the title was a photo, Prophet Darasimi, looking smaller, older, eyes blank. Police officers stood behind him. The caption read, "Video evidence surfaces after months of investigation." Ezinne stood still for a long time, staring at the picture. Her chest rose and fell slowly. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just whispered, "Finally." Her neighbor sighed. God always catches bad people, no matter how long. That night, she sat outside again, under the quiet Abeokuta sky. The moon was full. The air smelled of rain. For the first time in years, she felt light. Her phone buzzed Ngozi, the journalist. "It's over," the message read. "He'll face trial." "You did it," Ezinne replied. "We did it. Thank you." She put the phone down, closed her eyes, and breathed deeply. Somewhere far away, she imagined the sound of drums, not the ones from that cursed church, but gentle ones, the kind they played at weddings and festivals. For once, the sound felt safe. Then, her neighbor's daughter, a teenage girl, walked past carrying a small portable radio. The preacher's voice that came from it made Ezinne freeze. "Good evening, beloved," the man said. "This is Prophet Daniel Arin's Fire of Deliverance ministry. Our God still moves in mysterious ways." Ezinne turned slowly. The name was different, but the voice calm, deep, familiar. It was the same. The girl smiled. "Auntie Z, that new man of God is powerful, oh. They say he used to train under Prophet Darasimi before he travelled." Ezinne forced a smile, her throat tight. "Really?" she said softly. The girl nodded and walked away. Ezinne watched her disappear into the street, radio still playing the same voice that once destroyed her life. She sat back slowly, eyes glistening under the moonlight. After a long silence, she whispered to herself, "Maybe altars don't die, they just change address." She stood up, walked inside, and quietly closed her door. The light in her room flickered once, then went off completely, leaving the compound in peaceful darkness. In the end, truth came out, but peace didn't come easy. Some people heal by speaking, others by surviving quietly. Ezinne may have found freedom, but for every Prophet Darasimi out there, there's another altar waiting for a new name, a new face. And that's why we must never stop listening, because evil doesn't vanish, it only changes address. Thank you for watching Storytime by Noir. If this story touched you, please share it, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more true life-inspired African stories. Till next time, stay safe, stay aware, and never stop asking questions.